Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing my monthly plan with me where I flip through all of my spreads from July as well as plan for the month of August. So I'm going to start off by showing you all of my July spreads. So for July I had a kind of mermaid underwater theme with a color scheme of like purple and blue, and here is my cover page. As you can see, and my first page in this month is my monthly calendar, which is really nice just to see a brief overview of the month. And here's my goals and highlights section and expense tracker, which I didn't end up using that much just because it is the summertime and I felt like tracking expenses wasn't as necessary as during the school year. This next spread is my habit tracker on the left and my line a day, and also I didn't really use this that much. The summertime just didn't really feel right with keeping track of all of these things. Here's my first weekly spread. As you can see, I use a bunch of different photos from Pinterest and some more underwater type doodles. Here's my next one. I have a pretty long to-do list for this page, but they're pretty much very similar, all the weekly spreads. I like to have a highlight section as well as a master to-do list for the week just so I can have a nice overview. Here is my next weekly spread. For some reason all of my July weekly spreads were not really my favorite, but that's okay. This one is my favorite out of July. I did these doodles with a gray fine liner, which I really like. It's a little bit less or a little bit more muted than like using a black fine liner, but that is all of my July spread. So now we will get on to planning for August. Okay, so now that we have flipped through July, we will get started on planning for August. So for August, it's going to be a little bit different than some of my past months because I am traveling for most of the month. I wanted to keep the spreads very simple and practical, so I don't have any habit trackers or mood trackers just because I'm going to be gone for the majority of it. So for my theme, I wanted to do a kind of like pink and tan type of theme with lots of similar tones in this kind of range. So I decided to do my cover page with acrylic paint this time just to change things up, and I wanted to make really rich and like opaque colors on my painting, so I thought acrylic would be good for that. So I started by painting this background of this like light blush pink, and then I decided to do a bunch of geometric shapes on there because I've seen quite a bit of art popping up like that recently and I really like the style of it, and I thought it would be a nice simple change from some of my more realistic watercolors for my cover page. So I used a bunch of different neutral tones. So I have some tan, some of this like darker pink, and some more burgundy type colors. And on the overlap between the shapes, I painted on a different color once the entire painting was dry, just to give it this effect that like shapes were layered and you could see partially through some of them. So I just did that with a little bit of watered down acrylic paint just so it wasn't as opaque. I didn't show this on video, but after the painting was dry, I went in with a fine liner and added these little black lines, and then I wrote August in with my white Jelly Roll gel pen, and that is the completed page. The next page is my August monthly calendar. So I started by planning this out with pencil because I always struggle to get the right dimensions in there, and I always happen to screw up somehow. But on the top I started by writing August with a tombow brush marker, and then I also have a section for a to-do list on the side and then also an event section. I did this with the same tombow marker. And after that I went in with a pink marker to do the actual calendar. So this month I decided to do it a little bit differently. So I wasn't actually using a fine liner for the calendar, and I decided to do a thick line horizontally and then a thinner line vertically, just so that I have a place to write the dates on the thicker line. So this is actually a Crayola super tip marker, which I'm going to be using as my color theme for the month. I also have a few other colors that I'm going to be using, but this one just happened to be the one I chose for the calendar. The next thing I did was I played around with some of these photos that I printed off from Pinterest in the corner. I always like adding photos. I think it makes the page a lot more interesting, and then it's another way to add in and play off your color and theme for the month. So I chose some after a lot of decision making, and these are the ones that I picked, and I just glued those in with a glue stick. And because of my theme this month, I decided to use my rose gold washi tape, which is very exciting because I haven't used it very much. And I added some more of these homemade stickers that I made, and I also used this tan tombow brush marker to add some more detail around the to-do and events section. And after adding some final touches such as stickers and some more doodles, I was finally finished with this spread. I'm really happy with the color scheme and how it turned out. Okay, so the next spreads are my expense tracker and my master to-do list. So I decided to do an expense tracker just because I enjoy tracking my expenses, and even though I will be traveling for the majority of it, I still need to track things for getting ready for school and all of that stuff in September. And then on the other side I have my to-do list, which is kind of an extension of the to-do list that I wrote on my calendar page. So I like to keep my expense tracker really simple, and I decided to play off the same thing that I did with the calendar, with the thicker lines with the Crayola super tip marker horizontally, and then vertically with the thinner points. And I just wrote in some monoline cursive the different categories for my expenses, which I have done pretty regularly because I find it helpful just to easily see it, and then I can, after it's done, or the month is done, I can transfer it to a master yearly expense tracker. On the to-do list, I added some photos that I printed off from Pinterest, and I'm really happy, or I really like the colors of these, and I think it really plays off the color scheme and theme really nicely. And I added some tombow doodles and stuff like that with my tombow marker, and some drop shadows and some stickers and washi tape, and just the usual. So I'm actually super sad about this page because I lost the footage of me creating it, well, at least part of it. So here's just the ending of it, but pretty much I used similar methods to other pages that I have done, with using photos and washi tape and stickers. And as you can see, I used the the Crayola super tip marker for the days of the week, and here I am writing in the dates with a fine liner. As you can see, it starts in July and then it extends over to August, but that's kind of how the page turned out. And again, I'm really sorry that I lost the footage, but hopefully this will do it justice. And here's the final flip through of all of the spreads created for August. So like I mentioned before, it's pretty basic this month just because I'm not going to be doing a bunch of planning. I just wanted to get a basic calendar out and basic setup for August. But yeah, here are all the spreads. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!